What's up, everybody? Beau-hindman here with another quick review. This time I'm looking at the Halo, the Megacontrux Halo Energy Sword. In case you don't know what that is, it's a weapon from the Halo series, which I'm not, and it's not like I'm not a fan of it, but I think I played the first one years ago. I never really looked back into it. But from everything I understand, it's a super fun game, so I'll have to check it out. This was released or talked about by Megacontrux. I want to say, I can't remember exactly, correct me in the comments, but I want to say last year at Toy Fair, a virtual Toy Fair, was it this year? Heck, I can't even remember now. This year has been so long. 2020 was such a nightmare. I guess it's 2021 at this point. But anyway, what it was really interesting, and I'll link the video in the description, was the designer who put this together, I believe. That's what she did, was she was the main designer. And she said she wanted to make an item that you could literally hold, which is a bold thing to do if you think about it with any type of construction kit, you know, because this is just tempting kids to hit them together. That's probably the bad part, I guess, if you're a parent. By the way, I got this in the pack if anybody wants it. There you go. Whoever can take that code first. But it's just asking for trouble. So let me put it together real quick and come back with it. Pow. Using the magic of the pause button. And trying to get it all on my camera here. Here is the energy sword on its neat little, this neat little display stand. Let's take a look at that real quick. It's just really, really simple. But it actually works really well. Let me see a little better lighting in here. I'm recording this on a dark day. So fantastic little basic stand. I would say that if you're really a fan, I would probably take this stand and clean, add some more parts to make it a little cleaner, cover this up, make it all smooth, maybe add some more cool effects parts or something, something fun like that. But this is the sword in question. It's a laser sword. Building it's not bad at all. It took me, I don't know, because I did it off and on while I was doing other things in the house, and I did, I think, over a couple days. I don't know, an hour or something like that, or 2 hours, whatever it was. So it might be a little challenging for some maybe really younger kids. I'm not sure how young you want them to be in either way because of their points. They're not sharp, but they're like, they could poke each other in the eye. So you might keep that and keep an eye on that. No pun intended. But it is actually sturdy enough to hold like this. And you can, as she shows in the video where she's talking about designing it, you can swing it around. Now, would I want to do that and encourage people to do that? No, because the problem is if any of this breaks off or falls down, these are all little small parts, excuse me, that were put together in a pretty particular way. So if you drop any of these, I'm not worried about them breaking, of course, because that's the great thing about like Lego, Megacontrux kits like that, or toys like that, is if you break it, you can just reassemble it. You just use the instructions and reassemble it. But it was a little bit tedious, to assemble it in some way. So you don't want to do that again. I thought there were some clever little design features on here. What was really funny is when I finished it, I showed my wife. I said, hey, take a look. You can actually hold this, like that. She grabbed it like that and immediately popped this part off. So keep an eye on that. You might lose that part. If you want to keep the thing together, you might consider gluing the thing together. I never do that with mine because, honest to goodness, what I get Lego kits or anything for anymore, or Megacontrux or whatever, unless they're smaller or just really, really interesting kits like this, I'm using them for parts later to use in custom toys or custom Lego builds and stuff like that. Eventually I want to do a big robot thingy, and so all these blue parts were just too hard to resist. But there's some really interesting design bits in there. The handle just looks really, really smooth. Up close, of course, you're going to see the little nubbins and stuff, but overall it really looks pretty smooth and stuff like that. This is really nice. I like how they used this clear part here to join the two halves, because in the actual game or whatever, I believe that's just a blank there. And I like how it kind of just fades away because it's clear, and then you can see just the distinct two halves, and they appear to be kind of floating together. You could probably remove that, and it would still display and stuff, but I think if you're going to pick this up ever, you definitely want this in place there, because you just don't want it to, again, you don't want it to fall apart. These blue bits, the only thing I'd recommend about some of them are more, you know, colorized, or you know, have the color mixed in them, and others. So what I would probably recommend is, if you really want to make this look cool, you could possibly be a little more conscious of, like, separate all the parts together that are the same parts. For example, this part here is this part here, or whatever. Maybe put those two together, and maybe kind of be a little more conscious about putting a really dark piece like that next to a really clear piece. Try to be a little bit more aware of that, and take some time. I bet you could even assemble it once, and then notice the really dark patches compared to the light patches. You know, it's supposed to look like energy or whatever, crackling energy, but when you have it like that, it looks a little, you can kind of, that gives away some of the toyness of it. So you know, you might be more aware of that, or even swap out some of these parts for, I could see maybe having lighter and or darker ones all in the middle. You know, if you've got a lot of parts, you know, clear parts made by Mega, you could probably use Lego, I'm sure, as well. They do mix. And you know what I'm saying? Just rebuild this a little bit nicer, because the plan and the design is fantastic. I mean, this is just, you know, excuse me, when you're a kid, you're going to build a gun or a sword or something like that. That's one of the first things you did. When we were kids, what we would do is we would build ships that were really long, and we had a contest to where we'd run at each other in the hallway and hit the ships, and whichever ship held up the best was the winner. So we naturally would take something like this, and we'd be stabbing each other with it and swinging it and stuff like that. So unless you intend on really doing that, which I wouldn't recommend, I would consider making it into more of a real display piece, you know, by really making that look a little nicer. It doesn't look bad how it is now, because from a distance, all that blue, I mean, even from just this distance, all the blue kind of blends in and gives it a, you know, a willowy kind of magical effect. Even on the box cover here, you can definitely see, in fact, it's almost a little bit of a harsher coloration difference there. You can almost see the really dark up against the white, but I mean, it's supposed to begin, you know, like a shimmering effect. I think it's a really nice choice. I'm not sure if these are parts that they've used before, or colorations they used before. I'm not that familiar with Megacontrux stuff. I have quite a few of them, but I don't follow the lines necessarily. But I just could see that if somebody took time, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody already did this, somebody took time, they can make this laser sword area look just really, really, really sharp, but just switching out parts and being more aware of that. Or even this, you could even maybe put some darker gray. I'm saying that because it's just such a fantastic plan. I love the design. I love the fact that they were brave enough to say, let's make something that people can pick up, give it pointy ends, and make it an item that you want to do this and swing with. As soon as you pick it up, the first thing people are going to do is this and swing it, because it has that heft, you know. So I really admire their guts, because this was something to take on and design with that. You know, it says, be careful, don't poke yourself in the eye, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, what's the first thing you're going to do with this? Is you're going to stab your little brother in the head, you know, have fights with him, you know. So I really admire what they did with this. Fantastic. I'm not a Halo person. I don't collect Halo stuff other than some of the vehicles and stuff like that. But this is just, it's magnificent. I love it. I think it's one of the better kits I ever bought. And actually, I got this on dirt cheap sale for, I think, half off from Target. So you might check Target at this time. Maybe it didn't sell a lot. Maybe they're clearancing them out, maybe after the holidays. But this is great. It's going to be a great little piece. And also, because it came with a little stand, it's going to go great on a little shelf in that small enough of an area. It just stands up this way, so you can just fit it in a very small amount of space. I love everything they did with this. I think it's a great piece. And watch me drop it and break it to 1 million pieces next time. But anyway, check out more videos on the channel there. Leave some comments if you can. Leave subscribers, or try and subscribe. I'm trying to get to, I think, 2,500 or something. Getting close. So thank you, everybody. I'll see you on the next video on Friday.